Hi, Brad.
Hello.
I've got a couple of questions for you.
Sure.
Okay, first question. How can young actors improve their skills if they can't attend classes?
Well, obviously, I'm going to be a little biased on that one, being that I have an acting school. That's a tough one. I mean, look, the reality is acting is a craft that one needs to practice regularly. It's all built on muscle memory. So, I mean, if you can do a monologue or if you can practice a scene and you can try to do this, 4 days a week, maybe 30 to 40 minutes a day, at least you're going to be, getting your body and your brain familiar with the craft and sort of reminding your body what it feels like to act. I think if you do this, you want to be on guard because it's going to be tempting to start watching yourself to kind of see how you're doing as you're acting. Furthermore, if you are an untrained actor and you film it and then you watch it, you could sort of start finding that you're editing yourself as you're acting it the next time to sort of not copy what you saw on camera. So it does take a discipline to sort of restrain yourself, to watch yourself. That's one of the good things about class is that you don't have to worry about it. You can kind of just do your thing and let me critique it and give you notes and hopefully make it better. But listen, I mean, the reality is a lot of people can't get to class, and there are a lot of people who still want to do this. So most important thing is that you continue to train and you actually act, 3 to 4 to 5 days a week. Reading about it is good. Studying it, by watching documentaries or watching the Actor Studio or watching movies, that's all good stuff. But your body, again, has to experience acting. Remember, the more that you think about acting kind of like you're going to the gym and you're training your muscles, the more it's going to make sense what I'm telling you. So, look, if I go to the gym and I work out 3 to 4 to 5 days a week, that's great. But if I had a personal coach or a personal trainer with me at the gym, obviously the gains are going to be significantly improved. But definitely I'm going to go to the gym anyway. So hopefully that gives you some clarity.
Awesome. What's the most important thing when it comes to acting?
Most important thing when it comes to acting is going to be truth and honesty. A lot of acting teachers and actors and so forth are going to maybe try to tell you to do different little tricks or gimmicks or method type stuff where it's okay, think of this in order to act, or it's got to, you have to kind of create this fun little moment here. But all of that stuff is secondary compared to playing a character that's believable and honest. And the reason that you have to be believable and honest, and that's the most important thing, is that the audience needs somebody to connect to. They need to be able to relate to you. They need to be able to watch you and go, oh, that reminds me of me or somebody I know. And if you do that, you connect to them and the audience engages with you. So that is going to be by far the most important thing, that when you play your characters, focus on playing them in a way that they are believable and don't worry about making them quote unquote entertaining. Yes, it has to be entertaining, but at the same token, if you're believable and honest, it will be. Now, for a more seasoned pro, there are going to be some advanced notes on ways to sort of make a moment even more interesting or make it more exciting. Or when you start dealing with comedy, putting pauses and punchlines and or if you're dealing with a mystery, sort of creating tension and elongating a long pause and so forth. Those are all great things, but I usually tell my students that all of those little moments are kind of like icing on a cake, but we need the cake first. So hopefully that gets you some clarity on that.
All right, last question. Can you give us some advice when working on a monologue?
Monologues are tough, no denying it. In Los Angeles, it's very unusual to have to do a monologue. I haven't had to probably do a monologue in 15 years. But again, in Los Angeles, you're dealing with film and television, and most of the time when you're auditioning for stuff, you're going to have a reader and you're going to be reading a scene. Theater, on the other hand, frequently you'll have to do a monologue. So a couple of tips I can give you with doing a monologue. Number one, remember a monologue is a scene. Okay, it's a scene where it just so happens that you're talking and the other person isn't, whoever you're talking to, or if you're talking to a spirit, or if you're talking to a ghost, or if you're talking to God, or whatever it is that you're talking to. Remember, there still has to be a relationship, and it abides by the same principles as when you're in a scene. When I'm in a scene, I'm reacting from somebody or something that's causing me or inducing me to speak. I need to take that experience and apply it to a monologue too. So yes, I may be doing all of the talking, but when I'm doing my talking, I got to make sure that it's coming out of reacting to the person I'm imagining that I'm looking at. So that would be number one. Number two, a lot of people ask, well, what am I looking at? Do I pick a spot on the wall? Do I pick a doorknob? What do I make that other person that I'm talking to? For me, I have found that if I sort of, imagine a person in front of me, and I'm not really looking at a spot. It's almost like I'm kind of seeing a hazy person that I'm reacting to. So I'm kind of seeing them, but I'm not looking at a particular spot. It's sort of like as I'm looking now, if I turn to my left and I imagine, I'm reacting to a person, I kind of see this person. Let's say it's Robert De Niro, and I see Robert De Niro right in front of me. I can kind of see him sort of flashing, like little blips of him, and maybe he's sort of smiling or he's got a look at me, and I'm reacting to it. But I'm not looking at a spot on the wall and making that spot the person. The other thing when you're doing a monologue, don't get lost in sort of trying to create reactions that the imaginary person are giving you that you can react to. Because then what happens is, instead of playing your objective that you're supposed to have of the character, your objective has sort of become to create the right thing for me to react to. So you're not really in the scene. So anyway, hopefully that helps. Thanks for the questions. Those are all great questions.